We are good to go. All right, so let's talk about this. Let's talk about how Crazy Slick is getting gaslit into having his life ruined. Pretty much.
Yes. So I've heard a lot of crazy things about the situation. I hear people talking all over the place. You've told me a little bit about this. However, I'm still mostly in the dark. So you have an unconventional opinion about this. And you know me, I love to hear people out. I love to hear sides that people aren't necessarily listening to that maybe should be heard. So I want you to tell me what's going on because this whole thing is crazy, maybe blown out of proportions. I don't know why everyone cares about the sudden drama about a guy that I never heard of until this point. Why should I care? What is going on here?
So when it comes to what's going on, this comes into a case of a dude who's pretty much just being railroaded by the whole of the Twitch community into being, hey, he's a sexual harasser. When I don't think anything that he's done equates to sexual harassment. Even his best friend, who's like diving on a sword for him, is diving on a sword that I don't think he should. He's diving on a sword as he's like, hey, Crazy Slick is actually like a sexual harasser, but I'm still going to defend him and everything like that. That's Mizkif, by the way. When it comes to the actual actions, I sent you the video about the whole Hasan video that Adrianah actually talked about. I watched the whole Destiny, like he did two very long streams about this, and I just think this dude was not actually doing sexual assault. I think what happened was the dude was just literally looking after a girl that he made out with at a party because she drank too much, and her friends pretty much traumatized her just by saying crazy shit. Honestly, like that's pretty much my opinion on it.
Okay, so I have a few questions. I guess first of all, being that it seems like everyone on Twitter, everyone seems to think that he did this. Even Mizkif, all these people seem to be under a pretty confident consensus of this guy did this thing. Why do you think they're wrong? And how are you so confident about this despite all the evidence to the contrary and despite all the people saying this? I'm genuinely curious.
Well, okay, so this has to do with a couple things. So one, on Twitter, I think there's like it's like a type of echo chamber. So if someone says this person sexually assaulted this person, when I did my post, a lot of people were saying, oh, like you think it's okay to like make out with someone when they're like passed out and drunk. Oh, you think it's okay to grope someone when they're passed out and drunk. I don't think any of these people have actually watched the video. So if you watch the Hasan video with it's talking with Adrianah, she talks about how her friends, and by the way, there was a multiple corroboration on another Destiny video about someone that said the exact same thing, okay? So in this video, she's talking about, hey, my friends told me that I was passed out drunk, and he came up to me, checked my pulse by going to my neck, which is where the coronary artery is, and to my chest to get my heart rate, which is perfectly normal when someone has had too much to goddamn drink. But because of the Twitter mob, anytime you can virtue signal to pretty much ruin someone's life, if you can change one word, change touch to like grope, right? Let's say you change touch to grope. That's sexual assault. I mean, that is, right? Like it is. Mm. So it's like you see that, and then you see people just be super hyperbolic at him, and then you see Mizkif. He's a young dude. I get how he's super young. I think he's like 23, 24, somewhere around there. He's trying to defend his friend, but he doesn't have cojones yet. He hasn't had the testosterone of God hit him yet. So he's trying to defend his friend, but he doesn't want to go against public opinion because he's got no balls yet. So what he does is he's like, oh, this is wrong, but I'm gonna send my ex over there to like try and like make it so she doesn't do a twit longer. This is super crazy. What he should have said is, no, this is fucking insane. Like he was clearly watching out for you when you were like super duper drunk, and yeah, it's just a little bit nuts to me.
So he basically took the worst possible option. He's like, well, I think he did it, but it's okay.
Yeah. So the thing is, he's dying on the sword for this, and I think he's actually going to be affected drastically when it comes to streaming. But he's not doing it the way I think. Okay, for the record, like I'm not some rando person that's never had people drunk around me. I was in the military, Navy specifically. You drink all the time. I've had to babysit so many people. I've had to check people's pulses before. recently I've even had to take care of my brother when he was like vomiting in his sleep. Like I've
Oh my god, that's awful.
no, it's terrible. I've had to take care of drunk people before, and I'm gonna be honest. So if I go to a party and like I made out with a girl, I like, obviously if you make out with a girl, by the way, you like that person, and they
Yeah.
get too drunk, I'm gonna want to take care of them. And the fucked up thing about this is I would probably do something similar to what he did. Probably not like checking the neck. I'd probably check the wrist because it'd be easier. But you can
Yeah,
do
but
that.
people check the neck. I understand. Yeah.
No, no.
People
And the
check
thing,
neck
the thing is
circles
too,
all the time.
in
That's
the
normal.
yeah, in the Hasan video, it says, "Oh, he was checking the neck, then moved to chest." I think that's a perfectly normal thing to do. So let's say he was checking the neck, the coronary artery for the pulse, and he's like, "Oh, well, there's nothing there." I think it's perfectly normal to move down to fucking checking the chest. And the fact that he didn't grope her, he didn't go under her nipple. None of these people that were there to witness it said he did anything like that. And on top of that, if he's gonna grope someone, he's not gonna tell the people around him, "Hey, I'm going to check her pulse." He's not going to say that. He's gonna try and be discreet. He's gonna like, it's just nothing adds up to this dude like trying to like actually sexually assault her. And then on top of that, every single one of her friends, guess what they said? Oh, he kept coming back. This creepy dude trying to like, check up on her. He kept coming back like nonstop. It's like, okay, let me ask you this. So, had her friends said this exact thing versus what they said to her where she claimed sexual assault, okay? This is a
Yeah.
hypothetical question, okay? Some people can't engage. Let's okay. So, let's say her friend said this. Hey, so you know that guy you were making out with, CrazySlick or whatever, I guess he was worried about you. Came in and checked on your pulse, and he came back like multiple times throughout the night to make sure you were doing okay. Do you think do you think Adrianah would say, "Oh, he sexually assaulted me"? No. No fucking way she would say that. She would say, "Oh, maybe CrazySlick isn't that bad. Maybe he's like actually a pretty good guy. Like I could like chill with him and stuff. Like he seems to be worried about me and like look out for me." But
Well,
okay, go. Yeah,
sorry. But what? No, you go.
no. You can go ahead if you have a criticism. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I could see a world where she is not aware of the pulse checking and she just thinks it's weird that this guy is checking up on her. Like I could see a world where he is genuinely thinking that he's checking her pulse and that's all he sees it as. But this girl is like drunk and she's like, "Wait, why does this guy keep touching me? Even if it's literally purely innocent, like this guy's checking my pulse." I genuinely believe there's people out there who would still think that anyway. Not to say that the influence of the friends, like I believe that's absolutely contributing to this. But I mean, I guess that's where I think it is. I mean, my thing is like the pulse. Sorry.
I was gonna say, well, these people are the same people that think you get sexually assaulted when you get CPR and you also get spotted for squatting. These people are window lickers that should not be respected in any situation. Okay, if you're doing some type of action, that is to the benefit of someone, be it checking their pulse, helping them prevent an injury, be it from spotting them on squat, which by the way you also like have to do by touching the upper part of their boob, and then also when it comes to CPR, also touching the upper part of their boob. It's like, come on, if you're doing an action that's a net good for someone, it's not sexual assault. And had her roommates, or not her roommates, her friends said, "Oh, he's just looking out for you," she wouldn't think this type of thing.
Yeah, no, probably not. Yeah, 100%. They would have framed it and been like, "Oh yeah, he's just like." Yeah, I agree.
And then also, if we're living in this world where it's to the point where you can't like touch someone because like that's in an area that to make sure they're okay, when they're in a situation where their body's kind of compromised, because she did drink a lot of alcohol, she pretty much blacked out, right? If we're at a point where society's like this, we're gonna have a lot more people dying for no reason other than the fact that people are gonna be like, "Oh well, I'd rather just not accidentally sexually assault someone for helping them." It's like just wild to me.
I do think that there's a sphere, and I do worry about it that there are men in this world, good men. I'm not even. Let's say hypothetically, this dude is guilty. Regardless, I worry that there's men right now who are going to be afraid to check in on a woman, be afraid to check her pulse because they're worried that some friend is going to see that as like SA when it's not.
No,
I
agree. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah,
I worry about that. I do.
Yeah, no, that's a total possibility, and that's what I'm saying. It's gonna get to the point where like you're not gonna get spots as a girl working out. Some dudes are gonna see like a choking girl, they're gonna be like, "Nope, not even worth it."
Yeah, exactly.
Because this
they're just gonna
like,
be like, "Why would I risk my career getting canceled for this shit?"
And for the record, like I never known this dude before this. Okay, Never knew this dude. I just saw he was getting dogpiled for something that, had I been in the situation that he was in, based off the Destiny podcast, talking about, he brought up the video of her saying that they kissed throughout the night, and I'm just like, if I make out with a girl and then she drinks too much, I'd probably look out for her. And I've babysat a lot of people. Like, I was like, I've had to babysit drunk people.
Right.
So to have like this go down and then just be like, oh, this is clearly like sexual assault. Sorry, not harassment, sexual assault. And then even his best friend come on and do it. I'm just like, yo, this is absolutely nuts to me, because this is something I would do and probably many other people would do in a situation to make sure that your friends or love interests possibly are okay when they have alcohol. Because I'm not going to lie, alcohol can kill you. It is 100% a possibility.
Oh, absolutely. Alcohol poisoning is a problem. And we can confirm that she said she was drunk, right? Like, it's a fact. Like,
she blacked out. She didn't remember anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then of course he's going to have to check on her.
No.
That's a good thing to do.
Hold up. All of her friends were were literally around her because of how drunk she was. She had drinking that much alcohol.
Oh my God.
So I think, so this is my opinion. I think the people that are like saying this is SA are, one, people that haven't drinking alcohol, and two, fucking virgin energy people. Okay. Like, this is fucking wild to me that this is even condemned. By the way, for the record, I've seen some of this dude's texts. Okay, he's a horny bastard. He says some creepy shit to people.
I want to talk about that later.
Yeah,
we're gonna talk about that.
Yeah,
later.
I think you can be a horny bastard, kind of creepy to women, but also look out to someone's best interest if they're fucking like having alcohol poisoning. Like, it's two different. It's two different things to me. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I just want to say two things, first of all. One thing, like, criticism, and one thing that's, like, supporting your thing. The first thing, and the evidence that I think, is the fact that this dude came checking pulse. Like, here's the thing that I'm thinking of, right? This dude touched the neck. Like, why would you touch the neck if you're, doing that? Doesn't make sense to me. I think the arm is better than the chest, but, the chest is one of the three spots, and it makes sense why someone would think that, you get your pulse from the chest.
Well, there's like 5 spots. You can lift up the arm and then check the artery under the bicep. There's a lot of spots, yeah.
You know more about this than me, but I would say the fact that he like had his story from the start and he knew what he was talking about. It was like the girl asked him and he's like, "Oh, I was just checking your pulse to make sure you're okay." Like, I have two.
No.
Which one do you think is more likely?
Hold up. No. So her friends were asking. Like, he told the friends he was going to check the pulse, and the thing is, they didn't. Oh, yeah. So he was telling everyone around them what he was going to do, which I think is perfectly normal, because if they hadn't checked the pulse, it's perfectly fine to check someone's pulse when they might be having alcohol poisoning, to check on their heart rate. Yeah, it's
he even asked for permission, and they still think that he mind blowing.
No. I fully think that all the friends hated the dude, thought he was creepy, and are just like throwing him under the bus. Had they sent just literally uttered words differently to the girl, Adrianah. Hey, he was just checking on you. He like even checked your pulse. He'd look on you throughout the night. Had they just changed it, like good faith versus bad faith?
You're right.
Yeah, it would have been a completely different story, and she wouldn't be like crying on Hasan's stream. She'd be like, "Oh no, I just had someone looking out for me." She wouldn't be like, "Oh no, this dude is like vile, disgusting." And then Asmongold wouldn't be calling for this dude's death, which he did, by the way. I sent you a video about it on 70 Minutes. Yeah, Asmongold's like, "I hope he dies." Well, I didn't call for his death, but he's saying, "I hope he dies."
Okay.
Yeah. It was. I sent you the link of it. I'd have to look back at the Discord links, but it's just insane. Like, the amount of people willing to just burn this dude down to the grave is sad. It's completely sad to me, because in my opinion, based on how like the story reads, how like the witnesses have given it, and by the way, it's been like 5 days. Okay, so if someone's gonna come out and be like, "Oh no, he was groping her and like was actually like tonguing down her mouth," like they would have came out right now. Okay. So the fact that I've given it this much time, and then that there's multiple people corroborating that he was just checking her pulse and stuff and just touched her chest after he had already moved down from her neck, which is perfectly normal for checking a pulse, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm just like, yo, like, this dude is literally just being condemned for just touching a woman.
Yeah, I just want to. I'm sorry. I want to ask a few questions.
No, go ahead. You can ask anything. I don't care.
So the first thing I wanted to get to before is I want to throw this question. This is the reasoning that led me to think that this dude probably didn't do what he was accused of. I like giving people a fair chance. Anyone who watches my YouTube channel knows I will take positions, not because I think they're edgy. I'm very specific. I only make videos every once in a while because I don't just like throw stuff out. I don't talk about every controversy, and I wasn't planning on talking about this until you came to me. So I like to throw perspectives that people aren't going to talk about, and I like to say the things that I feel like other people are afraid to say. I don't care. I've gotten so much shit in my past, in my life. I will say it, and I like to give it a fair shot. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I'm looking at this situation, and I'm thinking, which is more likely? That this dude had this master plan ahead of time where he said, I'm going to pretend that I'm checking your pulse, but really I just want to touch your boobs.
That's and then you have to think about it too. Not just touching your boob, but just touching it, not groping. Because exactly. like everyone there said he didn't grope. By the way, once again, if people say, oh, he groped her, I change my opinion. Okay?
But they apparently, according to you, they didn't say that. So I'm just saying, is it more likely that he creates this big lie and he just goes all in on it and he's like pre-planned this entire thing? Or is it more likely that he's concerned and genuinely wants to check her pulse to make sure that she's okay? I think it's much more likely that he's just concerned about her because, I mean, is it technically possible that he thinks this through and he's like, this is the perfect way I can get away with touching your boob? And then, but like, I feel like if you're in that situation and that's your intent, you're just going to grope it.
Well, I've been
around like creepy men.
Yeah,
they grope you. They don't just like stop at like your chest. It's like, oh, that's good enough. They're there. They take advantage of the moment because they think you get away with that shit. Exactly. I think if he was guilty, he would have groped her. I mean, I could be wrong, but that's just my opinion.
I think you're correct on this assessment. I think anyone that disagrees with this assessment is fucking retarded, doesn't drink, and also gives off virgin energy. I think Destiny's wrong on this. Child Logic is wrong on this. Anyone besides myself that agrees with my opinion is fucking wrong on this.
Yeah. And by the way, I'm sorry.
I don't know. No, I was just going off because like I legit don't think like these people have had to babysit someone that's like actually drank a lot. And I also think it's perfectly normal behavior to give a fuck about someone that you've been making out with at a party. I think that's perfectly fine to like actually give a fuck about. So yeah, it's just, and then also this master plan of groping someone, it seems so fucking unlikely. It seems so unlikely, just like how you're saying. It's just like, it's like, okay, well, maybe he should have checked her wrist. It's like, well, you got to keep in mind, this is a party. Everyone's drinking, right? He probably went, because he did touch her neck. He probably went to go check her coronary artery, right? And it was like, okay, I'll just move to the fucking chest, whatever. Because the thing is, all these people have been drinking. Every single person, including her roommates, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, and then he gets a pulse on her heart, and then he stops, and then leaves, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then her friends be like, oh, he's coming back. It's like, yeah, he's just checking on her. You fucking weirdos. Like, are you shitting me? Like, it's perfectly normal to check on someone who got fucked up at a party. Like,
okay.
Go ahead.
I just want to say real quick, okay, you made some statements about, like, anyone who's not wrong is, like, I don't use that word, but, like, I just want to say my personal thing. If you disagree with me, that is fine. I don't think anything weird. I don't know enough about the situation to know. If you're watching this video, if you have a platform where you don't, and you think I'm completely wrong, and you have the facts, talk to me. I'll have a debate. I'll come on your stream, and you can tell me why you think CrazySlick did this stuff and why you think he's this person, okay? I will have this conversation with you. Or if you want to talk to him, you can talk to him too. Well, actually, it depends on whether he wants to have the conversation. But you know,
I'll have a conversation. But if they message like, if they, for example, if they like message you and then you're like, hey, this person wants to talk to you, I'll totally talk with them. If like, by the way, I will say this too. If there's like new information that's like, oh, like he does this on a regular basis and then gropes people, but like obviously, like I'm gonna change my opinion. Okay, it's just based off of what I have. I've watched out like close to 8 hours of this stuff. Okay,
insane,
I have watched so much onto this, and based off what I've seen, it seems like the people corroborating it are people that are like, no, he was like said that, and then like also he did that, also he checked on her like multiple times, and like. That's perfectly normal for someone that's fucking like trying to make like that's making out with you at a party. Like, what the fuck do you mean? Like, and then also like one of the people that was a witness. I will also say this. One of the people that was a witness that said he has touching her chest. Guess what? He had tried to make out with their like girlfriend or like wife or whatever too. So that person has an incentive to pretty much give the friend when they wake up the worst possible take ever. Okay.
Okay.
So. Hey, I'm watching out for my friend. Also, this dude, like, he made out with her, but he made out with my wife. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to say, hey, this motherfucker over here, he totally sexually assaulted you. He was up all on you. He was touching you when you were asleep.
Okay.
I could totally see that happening. Like, it's just wild to me that all these people that are like pretty much saying what happened are giving the worst take possible, in my opinion. But they're not saying he groped her at all. If they say he groped her, I would back off. The fact that they're saying this, and she even went on Hasan's stream and then said what happened, I'm just like, listen.
You didn't grope her and you're this mad about it. Like, I mean, like, I understand people can get traumatized and the situation's not that bad. I understand. It's just like, it's silly to me. But like, whenever you're done, I really want to start talking about the text, because that's the one big
No. We can talk about that. We can talk about the crazy fucking shit. I mean, he even gay kept people, I think, away from like talking to Mizkif without sending nudes and stuff. That's wild. I will say that. Dude's a horny bastard. Yeah, I will say this fucking shit. We can get into that.
Mizkif didn't do anything. He's just being canceled because he.
No. I will say this: if Mizkif does believe what he believes, so he believes his friend actually sexually assaulted her, he is a piece of shit.
Oh, okay.
So I will say, so if you believe,
that's a weird thing to say.
No. I'm saying, so if he believes that he sexually assaulted her, right?
Yeah.
And then he's defending him. I mean, you're a motherfucker. I mean, dude, like you're a piece of shit. But
he actually believes it was SA. Like they.
Well, I don't know what this fucking dude believes.
He's
one of the.
Were touched as in like actual.
He's one of the top.
B&B.
He's one of the top Twitch streamers. I don't know what the fuck he actually believes. Okay, he could believe something else
so
and just
weird.
He could believe something else and just be like, oh, like it's unpopular opinion to come out. I don't give a fuck. I have such a small following. I can say whatever.
I'm gonna need to read these comments. They're gonna need to fill me in on this shit.
Yeah, no. It's by the way, I recommend like if like something comes out, whatever, like there's a new video, whatever, watch it. I sent you.
Absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely.
And by the way, if there's new information on like him doing this repeatedly and like. Not just like sexually like texting women and like sending dick pics, asking for nudes, saying he's jerking off and stuff. There's like weird shit about him like going to parties and like groping women when they're too drunk. I'll change my opinion. It's perfectly fine. I just haven't seen that. I've seen the text messages of him like I've seen the text messages of him with like women, the Discord messages with him with women, and I'm like, you can say creepy shit to women that like aren't down for it or whatever. But at the same time, look out for someone at a party, in my opinion.
Okay. And that's the thing. I agree with that. I think you can. But I want to talk about like what he said. I want to go over this. Because I read these messages. And the general thing that I came up with is that this dude has a sex obsession problem. This dude messages girls and gets a little TMI. He starts saying sexual things that the girls don't ask for. And I think that that's a problem. Does that mean I think he's this evil person who's like beyond redemption? I wouldn't go that far. But I'm looking at this and it does come off creepy to me. If someone sent me those messages, I wouldn't like try to cancel the dude. I'd probably ignore him and think it was weird. And I'd probably just leave it at that. You know, it's not like the worst thing in the world.
Do you want to?
That's because I'm more sympathetic.
Do you want to?
I've dealt with so much shit. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. I understand people are traumatized by this shit.
Do you want to bring up some of the stuff he said? Like, I don't want to like sugarcoat like anything he said. Like, he said some crazy shit. Okay, like I don't want to pretend he hasn't said some wild shit. And by the way, for the record, I didn't know this dude before this fucking shit went down. Okay,
I didn't know this dude either.
Yeah,
okay?
I just saw this dude being literally like having his life ruined, and that's the only reason I'm even doing this. Okay.
Yeah. So I just. Do you remember the stuff he said? I'm looking through the screenshots. Is there like something that sticks to your mind about this dude? Like what he said?
I mean, he was literally like, there's one point he was literally like, hey, can I send a cock pic, like an unsolicited dick pic? And then someone said no, and then he did it anyway. That's pretty fucked up. Yeah.
Dude, here's the problem though that I have. Okay. What he says, and he's caught on like screenshots saying stuff like this. It's very, very understandable how somebody could look at that and then think this other situation, like this dude is proven to do things like this. So then you see him being accused of something similar, and it's obvious that a lot of people are going to be like, yeah, this clicks. This makes sense.
Well, I would say, okay, so I would say this too, because I have a bunch of friends who like have Tinder accounts and all this stuff. Okay, when I ask them, hey, how many dudes send you dick pics? They're like hundreds. Okay. Like,
oh yeah, it's a problem.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And nobody wants to see it. I don't know why guys do it. It's stupid. Like, why?
Yeah, I don't.
Like,
I don't. I don't.
accomplishing.
Listen, I don't send dick pics unless someone asks for it, and I'm not sending my face. But okay. Anyway, when it comes to like the hundreds of people that do that shit, how many of those people do you think like actually commit like sexual assault? It's probably a super small majority. Okay,
and like I said,
so it's like comparing fucking oranges to apples, in my opinion. Like, yes, he may do this thing as bad, but that doesn't mean he's gonna go to the next level, you know?
I guess it's just that there's so many, and it's like I think there was one instance. I remember one of the screenshots. There was like an instance where he tried to inappropriately touch somebody. I don't remember which one it was, but I believe in one of the screenshots he like came over and he like had like a problem misunderstanding boundaries or something.
Yeah. But to be fair though, the girl invited him over, and if you're invited over, you expect sex. I don't know what else to say.
I would disagree with that, and also I feel like when I don't remember the context of it. I'd have to look. Was it the girl who was like the only reason he was in her house is because he offered her a place to stay because something happened and she wasn't able to like get her hotel or something?
No. If he's inviting,
different though.
If he's inviting over, because there was one where he was invited over and he went over there, and then like she's like, oh no, I wasn't down, and it's like, if you're invited over to someone's house, I'm not gonna lie, like if I'm going over to a girl's house, I'm expecting to smash. Okay, like
no, but okay, I found the one. This is in on 3. Essentially, I was stuck in Texas due to my flight being delayed. I needed somewhere to stay, so I asked around. Slick said yes, I could come stay. He had been sexual with me on text before, but in my head, I made a clear boundary that I wasn't interested in anything like that. I expressed that I was on my period to try to emphasize that I didn't want anything to happen. But as soon as I got there, he started being really touchy with me. I would try to hang out anywhere else in the house other than the room, but the one time I was there, he kept asking for head over and over, despite me saying no 5 times, and I believe over 5 times.
Hold on. Okay, so he shouldn't have asked for head 5 times, okay? But like, okay, you got to keep in mind her messages are fucking insane. Hey, his dude who'd like been texting me sexual shit nonstop. I'm gonna go hang out with him. And then on top of that, she's like in my head. In the fact that she said in my head, I think this. It's like that means she didn't verbalize it. So the dude, so he literally is like, I've been fucking sexing this bitch for a little bit. Like she's gonna come over here, she's gonna fucking suck my cock. Like she can say in my head and shit, but she's saying like this girl like does not. I don't think she understands at all like the fucking vibe she's giving off. This is like insane. Like if you gave me this vibe, you're like pretty much I'm sending sexual shit to you, and you're like not saying anything negative, and then you're like, oh no, but I'm on my period, but then also you're like, I'll come over to your house after I've been sending you sexual shit. I'm gonna be like, okay, this girl's gonna give me head.
Okay.
Like it's fucking wild to me that she's like, okay, in my head when I didn't discuss it with him, I'm actually like fine. It's fucking insane.
I'm thinking of how I want to respond to this. So my first thing I want to say is I truly, wholeheartedly believe, and I hope this doesn't get me canceled, I believe that the type of women in this community who hang out with these guys on Twitch are probably socially awkward, and that's not a diss. I think most people on Twitch are socially awkward.
No. I agree with you. I agree with you on that.
That's not a diss. That's just observing what I've seen.
Yeah. But that thing, that whole like conversation being like a condemnation on this dude's character, like, is insane. Go ahead.
Here's my opinion where I kind of disagree with you. I would say, should she hypothetically have made her like more clear, like, hey, this isn't cool? I think she, like I said, I don't know, I don't see the messages, but based on what she's saying here, I think that, you know, it's a safer thing to basically tell people and to be open. The problem, and I think the rebuttal that I'll get to this, is that a lot of women say that they're scared to, or they're scared that they're gonna say some shit. Like, I understand that, and I get that, right? I guess my response would be, like, if people say shit, like, I think you need to express, I think it's best to be honest about your stuff, and if they get mad at you, block them. If they harass you, take all the actions. I know it's not perfect, but especially if you're in a situation where, I think of it this way, I understand why, in her mind, she wanted to be nice to this guy. She had problems with him in the past, right? They weren't perfect, but he needed a place to stay, and she thought she could help. And wait, hold on. I thought it was her that needed a place to stay, not Slick. Was it the opposite? Oh, sorry, no, yeah. No, she needed somebody. Oh yeah, sorry. She needed a place to stay, and maybe he was the only person that had that. We don't know her situation. I have to imagine she tried. I can't imagine he was like the first person she asked. But I have to think about it this way.
No, yeah.
Like, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna go to the person who kind of creeps you out, but it's your only place to stay in this weird situation? Or are you just gonna like sleep on the street if that's really what it comes down to?
But then you,
I mean, hopefully, like,
No, I
can understand why she would be there. So like, I don't think it's her fault, and I don't like the idea.
No. I wouldn't say like had he sexually assaulted her or did some crazy shit. I would be like, no, this dude's a piece of shit. I even said like earlier, like I was like, the fact that he asked 5 times is sus as fuck, right? Like that's
no, I know what you're saying.
But I'm also saying this too. She was giving off the vibe she was down for him. But guess what he didn't do? He didn't do anything to her. And this, like, she was just saying he was being a little creepy, right? Like, he didn't do anything crazy, right?
Oh, no, I get you. The thing that, I think what I'm understanding here is you could understand why you think that he got the vibe that it was okay.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Okay, that makes more sense to me. In his mind, he thought she was cool with it because she had never said anything to the contrary.
He thought he was going to heaven.
Yeah. So I could understand that perspective, and I could understand why it probably makes more sense to be clearer. But at the same time, I guess my theory, and I think something that needs to be said out more, is I don't think this should cancel you. I don't think this guy should get canceled for this stuff.
No. The fact that he asked 5 times, the fact that he asked, then like took the rejection. But I mean, I don't think this dude is like terrible.
No. And when I talk, I'm not talking about this dude specific. I'm talking about societal shit. This is an example. This dude is getting shit for like things that, like, the way I think of it is this way. Whenever something happens, there's a bunch of women who clamor onto this one dude. They don't know much about the dude. But when they clamor onto it, they think of the times they've been essayed in their life. They think about the people in their life that have been essayed. And they project that all onto this one person. And it's like, maybe it's true. Maybe this dude did do this stuff. However, I see the way that it's a bunch of people at once. And it's like, maybe that's a bit overboard. I mean, I don't know, the way social media is. I just see it, and I really do think this. Well, let me just remember what I was saying, because I kind of
No, you're just emphasizing that like women, pretty much women can like have like a different perspective on this type of shit. Like,
I remember what I was gonna say. So my thought process is, and I think this is a learning lesson in the future. You don't start asking women that you don't bring up sex unless you're like absolutely sure that she's cool with it. If you start sending sexting messages to somebody, which you probably shouldn't do to people you barely know in the first place. Again, I think that's a real problem.
No. By the way, you should. I agree with you. You totally shouldn't fucking sex random people. I agree with that. I agree with that statement.
Yeah, I understand. I think the solution is that you don't start asking about really sexual things unless you are absolutely sure that the other person is into it. Because if you don't do that, all you're doing is you're putting yourself into dangerous situations. When you start saying sexual things to people that you're not sure about, I mean, like, especially if it's like people you met online. If it's someone you met in person, then I guess, and you know, like, they're giving you like.
Well, I think it depends if you're looking for like specifically like a sexual relationship, and depends on like where you meet the person. So hypothetically, if like you're talking on Tinder, I think it's perfectly fine to be like, hey, I'm just looking for a hookup. I'm just looking for someone to fuck. I think that's fine.
Well, if they met on Tinder, there's implied sexual stuff there, but I'm assuming these people did not meet on Tinder.
I don't know. I don't know. They've been apparently saying sexual shit to each other. I don't know. They might have.
Well, no, he said sexual shit to her. We don't know how she responded, but I'm assuming if she said sexual stuff back to him, then she has to know that that's not good. Like, if some guy's saying sexual stuff and you just say sexual stuff back to him, and then you're surprised.
Well, the dude's too much. The dude. What was it? Hold up, I gotta get this guy's name right. I keep forgetting his name. I gotta keep pulling up his name. CrazySlick.
Still gotta be sure. You still gotta be sure before you go.
CrazySlick is what I call a passive person. When all these allegations came out, guess what he did? He just went comatose and limp land shark. That's what he went. He literally let the whole society just castrate him. He was down with pretty much everybody just casting him out. He let his BFF pretty much do it. He pretty much let the whole society do it. The fact he deleted his Twitter, he had no fight in him. And that's, I think, is pathetic because he could have been linking some of this stuff. Like the fact that this girl's like linking this, and I'm just like, it's not that bad. I was like, had he linked some of the DMs with the girl and maybe she said some sexual stuff back, then boom, it's like discredits pretty much a lot of what she's saying too, right?
Can I finish this DM? I want to get through this.
Yeah, no, we can. Yeah,
because to me this is the most damning one, because I mean maybe there's other ones. There's like 8. I don't remember them all.
Let's see. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot.
I want to get through this. So he's talking about he kept asking for head over and over again, and me saying no, believe 5 times. Then essentially tried making a deal with me that if I did it, I could do whatever I wanted to do in the house. Again, I was on my period, and he kept trying to touch me inappropriately, and I really just didn't know what to do, because in my life, no matter how much I say no, it seems like how much I say, no man ever understands, and especially men with numbers, because he has clout or something. They think they just have hold over you. I just left and never spoke to him again after that. Never spoke to the situation because I've been silenced before with my essay experience, and it's caused me to want to quit. So the last part seems like like I said before, she's projecting her experience with other men onto this guy.
Yeah.
But the touching inappropriately thing, I mean, it says that he tried to, and like
So he tried to, but the thing is too, like when you're like trying, like say hypothetically you're on a date with someone, going to the movies. You're gonna try to grab their legs sometimes, depending on how like close you are with them. If you tried and then the person's not down for it and they like move your hand away, I think that's technically considered trying, but like you didn't do it. Yeah,
absolutely.
I don't think trying to grab someone like when you're on a date or someone you've talked sexually with, and then you don't do it, is necessarily a bad thing. I think that in fact shows good character that you're not going to like push past their zones.
Yeah, I had experience about this too. So it's weird because I was talking to this guy. I literally just met him. But it's like, to me, I gave off like clear signs that like I was interested and I was like cool with it. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I didn't say anything. I guess I didn't consent. But it's like, I was cool with the guy. Like we were talking and he just like grabbed my ass. But like, I'm not going to go on social media and be like, oh my God, this dude groped me. He sexually assaulted me. Because I don't think it's that serious. It's like, he didn't ask me, hey, do I want to grab your ass? Like, is it the biggest deal in the world? No. Are there people who probably wouldn't want that to happen? Sure. And it's like he tried to grab me in other areas and I kind of moved his hand away. But it's like, in my eyes, I don't see it as like the biggest deal in the world. Like, is that maybe this is just how normal people see it, or maybe I'm weird? I don't know. But
did you like it, or like if you didn't like it, that technically is like sexual assault. Like
it's not that I liked it or didn't like it. I was just like whatever. It literally didn't faze me. It was like, it's not that I was like attracted to it. It's not like I liked it, but it's not like I didn't like it either. It was just like, oh, okay, someone like likes me and sees me that way. That's cool. But I wasn't like thrilled by it. But it was like, I don't see it as like a big deal. Like I can see why it bother other people, and it's very dependent on the situation. I'm not gonna say, oh, because I felt a certain way, but I just feel like, I don't know. In a lot of cases, if you're in a sexual situation and somebody just repeatedly asks you, hey, do you consent to me touching your? It's like, a lot of times, and a lot of people do, is they go off of like nonverbal cues, and a lot of awkward people don't understand that.
That's what most of dating is.
But then it's like but then the problem is online. There's this conversation that it's problematic to use nonverbal cues because they might be wrong, or some guy's going to assume that she consents based on she looks like she wants it, and then she actually does it.
Think
that's like the whole like thing is like, oh no, is it all sex problematic? Is all guys who've ever got on nonverbal cues rapists now? Like.
I think you should ask if someone's interested, someone's turned on, all these types of stuff. So like the initial like going in on someone, I think you should ask. But when it comes to like excessive things after that, there should be like a bunch of like nonverbal cues that people should be okay with dealing with. And people that are telling you like, oh, like you didn't like that nonverbal cue, that's technically sexual assault, they're fucking virgins. Like they have not actually been in a situation. Like I think the initial situation, once again, where you're putting moves on someone. Hey, like, are you like turned on? Are you like, hey, like are you want to have sex? Like all these types of stuff. That is fine, okay? But if someone doesn't like something like slightly for like a partial of a second, and then they talk to their friends about it later and they're like, oh, this is sexual assault. I'm sorry, but your friends are trying to traumatize you, okay? Like, I'm going to say this right now. Sex for the first time with someone you haven't had sex before, it's fucking not super normal, okay? Yeah. You can like it, but there's going to be a lot of things that you do with that person that may not be like super comfortable. Maybe that person doesn't like this position. Maybe that person doesn't like you turning them over. Maybe they don't like you slapping their butt. Like there's gonna be give and take when you come to someone new. And yes, you can ask about a bunch of like prerequisites before this, but you're not gonna know every single thing. And then just like say like, oh, one negative aspect is like sexual assault is insane.
Okay. So I think I've come to a conclusion here, and you can tell me what you think. And my criticism is across the board, because I think a lot of people rightly see that there's a problem, and then they decide all women are evil, all women are sluts, they're all bitches, they're all whores, and then some people say all men are misogynists, all men are rapists, all men are evil. And it's like, okay, calm down. I do not believe that.
I will say the dudes who are saying all women are sluts and whores are fucking virgins that are mad they didn't get laid.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's terrible. And honest to God, I think in some of the screenshots, I forget what it was. The dude, CrazySlick, not. I think he's definitely socially awkward. He's definitely like got some issues. I
think that's possible. I just like after looking at the messages.
Doesn't mean he did that shit, but yeah,
I think he was based on my opinion. I think he was just looking out for you. Go ahead though.
So no, I absolutely believe in that situation, in the poll situation. I think he's innocent there. I think in other situations he's been weird, and maybe that can cause people to think the situation. But based on everything from that one situation, I think he's innocent in that case. But I don't think that means he's innocent in every single other case.
Agreed.
But I'd have to do more research.
I'd agree.
So
yeah, I'd agree.
I just want to say this is going to be a long thing, so just keep that in mind. Here's my prescription that I think that we should all take away and learn from this. I think, first of all, a lot of women should try to communicate themselves more. You can be nice about it. If you're scared, you don't have to, like, I know some women are going to say, well, it doesn't matter what I say because the men are, some men are going to respond badly. I get that. I get that there's fear. And completely understand wanting to be safe. However, I think if you want to avoid situations like this, I highly doubt that, the chances of some guy pointing a gun to your face or hitting you or punching you because you're like, oh, no, thanks, I'm not interested, pretty low. I think the chances of a guy stalking you, it's not zero. And if that happens, just try to leave the situation and hopefully there's people around you. Like I said, it's not perfect, but I think to avoid the situation, 9 times out of 10, the best thing you can do is communicate more, be honest about your feelings. So that way there's no misconceptions. That way you don't have men who think that they're consenting, men who aren't aware that the woman isn't as into it as they are, or at least men who, let's be honest here, there are men who want to believe that the woman is more interested than she actually is, so he'll just assume that, and her not outright saying no makes it think that she's consenting, okay? I think that if we communicate clearly, more of a no, more of a that's clear, I think a lot of decent men, not all of them, there's some people out there.
Yeah, I will say I understand why some women don't want to say no. Like if a dude if a dude like may be like hyper aggressive afterwards. I get it.
No, that is the thing that happens. Yeah, I get that. And it's like it's really shitty. But like I think the thing with men, I think what men can do is, I get it, if you keep saying every 5 seconds, do you consent, it kills the vibe. Absolutely. Like you can't just keep being like, oh, is it okay if I do this? Is it okay if I do this? And there's some women out there, if you do that, they're going to be turned off by it. So you have to like find a fine line with this. But at the same time, you can't just like immediately think, oh, she's at my house, it's time to have sex. Oh, she hasn't, she must be into it. You should try to be a little more clear in what you're doing because, if like a lot of women are afraid, if you're not, like, I think a lot of women just go along with it because they're scared, and you have to keep that in mind.
Well,
there's also, to be sure beforehand that she's not doing that.
Also,
and
there's
if you're sure that she's interested, then you're good. But there's a lot of situations where they're not. So you have to make sure that she's not just like tolerating it and she actually wants to consent with you.
There's also times where like, so this is going off of personal experience, by the way. There's been times I've been with someone who like, it was like our second time hanging out. We're super chill or whatever. And we were just hanging out the whole night. And like, obviously like I tried to make moves when we were watching a movie. She wasn't down for it. Right. And some women were like, oh, no means no. It's like, well, no means no in that scenario, because the next time, like she wanted to make out with me. Right. And then eventually she was down to go further. That doesn't mean like, and some people don't understand. This is a bunch of Twitter people that don't understand. Like, if someone says no once, it doesn't mean no forever. That means no in that situation. If a new situation like comes about, things could change. Like,
but if she says no, you have to be very careful the next time. But I know what you're saying. Things can change. Yeah. But there are dudes who hear no and then just completely disregard it. You have to
No. I agree with you. I'm just saying that.
Yeah, no, I get it.
I'm just saying, like, when it comes to situations like this, I hate people that post on Twitter like absolute shit, because it's a lot of people that haven't had these situations happen to them, haven't had like even with this dude, like haven't had people like super drunk around them, like having to take care of someone like that, and it's just wild to me that people are like, nope, this is clearly sexual assault. I'm just like, yo, what?
Dude, I hate to say it. I'm just gonna be completely honest with you. You come across, based on what you said, you being in the military, you come across as like a pretty normal, pretty decent guy. You seem like someone who actually touches grass. Now, watching 8 hours of an online drama is kind of like, I don't.
Nope, that is because I'm invested in this. That is the only reason. Okay.
I believe you. I believe you. But I will say, 8 hours of online drama. You know, that is the thing. But besides that,
yeah.
though,
to be fair, I didn't want to come out with a statement and then like be fucking like super
fair. You
wrong.
have to educate yourself. I get that. That's
yeah.
completely fine. But there's just a lot of people in this community who aren't exactly, you know, they have their problems, and that's not to say that there's anything wrong. I have my own problems. I'm not perfect. People will tell you that. I'm sure the comments will be all about this. But like I said, you know, you seem like a pretty reasonable person. And I feel like there's a lot of people who have this conversation. I feel like you pull people on the street, they're going to think very differently from people on YouTube. This is a circle. Now, that's not to say that, like, oh, automatically that means these people are wrong. No, that's not true. It's just to say that, like, sometimes other perspectives are warranted, and maybe it's good to look at it from a different angle. That's not to say that we're right here. We could absolutely be wrong. You know, we don't know everything. It's possible a few days come out, and more proof comes out proving that this dude actually is guilty.
Yeah,
but,
that's what I'm saying. I said, I'm not 100%. I'm just based off of what I've seen so far.
And that's completely understandable. I just want people to watch this and at least consider the other perspective. And if you listen to this and you still think the dude's guilty, fine. But you hear both sides. You hear all sides of the story. You critically think. And that's how we do this shit. So the other thing I want to say is, like, obviously the dick pic thing. I think we already talked about it. Like, CrazySlick sent me a dick pic on Snapchat when I made it clear I did not want to see it. And then he messaged me rude when I ignored it. Only spoke to me when he was horny. Didn't give a fuck about me when he wasn't. And then came to Twitter DMs wondering why I wasn't replying. So
that's being internally what was it? Terminally horny is what I called it.
And that's basically what I said. I think the dude is extremely horny. He has a sex obsession.
But I will also say this.
It's a problem.
Yeah, I will also say this. So many dudes send random dick pics. It doesn't mean they're fucking gonna commit sexual assault.
No, it's
And then also on top of that, when you're like horny all the time, you don't think straight. So but I don't know. I think SA is completely different than sending a fucking dick pic.
Okay, but like, can we acknowledge that, like, you know, just be like, most people can get horny without sending their dick pictures to random, like, strangers, random girls online, and that doing so is bad. Oh, no, you shouldn't do that.
Totally.
Like, I believe that you believe this. I just want to
totally.
make it clear.
Yeah, no, totally.
Because it's like,
totally. Yeah.
I get what you're saying. I just don't think that's like an excuse. But like I said, I think sending a dick pic is bad, and they should stop sending it. I don't think someone should be canceled. Their life should be ruined because they send a dick pic. I think we have to cancel a lot of people.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think
we should fix the culture where people do this. And if we fix the culture, this stuff stops. But I don't believe in this idea that we have to go cancel every single person who does this and make them seem like this evil person that can't be.
I also think that based off of what came out, if he was actually committing like sexual assault acts, like they would have came out, you know. So I don't think this is like a regular thing. So the fact that what came out, and it's not even that bad, I'm just like, dude probably was just looking out for, like, the people that commit rape. You know what comes out of them? Hey, there's another rape victim. Hey, there's another rape victim. Hey, there's another rape victim. Like, people that are like, this is like a regular occurrence, they have more people coming out. Not, oh, he sent me an unsolicited dick pic. Oh, like, I said no a couple times. He respected that, but he asked 5 times. It's like, listen, if this is like a regular action, there's going to be more people like at least somewhat similar to it. So the fact that this much shit is built up, I'm even more firm on my stance that this dude has like done nothing wrong.
Well, I wouldn't go as far as saying nothing wrong. I mean, I think the situation.
No, nothing wrong. Yeah. Nothing wrong in that specific situation. Okay.
Yeah, fair.
Nothing wrong in that specific situation.
Based on what I've heard. Yeah. So.
I don't think you should be sending dick pics nonstop to people, and I also don't think you should fucking like be asking someone nonstop like, "Hey, can I fuck you? Hey, can I fuck you? Hey, suck my dick." Hey, suck. I don't think that's okay.
Yeah. No.
But based on that being the worst shit that's come out for him committing like apparently SA, I think it like this should be way worse. Like I stand by my original statement in the video. I think this is perfectly normal behavior.
I would say, first of all, based on the way Twitter describes it, I think, and so here's the thing. What I'm about to say, people will say, well, yeah, I agree with you. That's why all men are trash. I'd say no. But what I'm going to say, based on what Twitter describes as like sexual harassment or sexual assault or sexual abuse, I think most men have committed some kind of form of it. However, I don't think that means that all men are evil. Okay? Don't twist it. That's like saying like people are like Twitter, like every single person is racist. And I was like, technically, I guess if you consider racism microaggressions, if you consider racism like minor things, then yeah, you can pull every single person. No one's perfect. We've all made mistakes. We've all like judged people over things. Okay. The problem is then people look at that and say all white people are evil. It's like you're completely drawing the wrong conclusion. You're causing more division. You're causing so many problems. I think the problem is, hey, these things happen. Instead of canceling individual people for systemic problems, I learned this in critical race theory class, we challenge the systemic problems, we challenge the notion within society, and we try to work with that. Instead we do, and these people online, they say, this one guy is evil. We're going to cancel this guy. But all these other people are saints. They're perfect. They've never done anything. It's like, no, the world doesn't like that, okay? We've all messed up, okay? Don't lift people up to absurd levels, and don't put down people to, like, these evil levels. So let's talk about this rationally and have a rational conversation. I think that's a healthy
Yeah, no, if you're talking about like the whole sexual assault thing, I think even people that are married like have like committed like some SA against their like partner when they didn't want it.
Real quick, 1 sec.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna still be on, but for the rest of the video, I'm just not gonna do camera.
That's fine. Okay, yeah, I think hold up.
Think that's good.
Let me make this bigger maybe. Or...
Is there anything that you want to talk about? Because I think we
I think we covered everything. When it comes to this, like we pretty much covered like every different type of thing. I think once again, I agree with you. I think some people that are even married commit sexual assault against their partners. I think that's possible.
Absolutely, that was the whole thing. It used to be like, oh, you can't sexually assault your partner, and then over time, people are like, well, actually, you can. We're gonna add this to the law. But it's like, okay, just because you're married to someone doesn't mean you can't consent. But at the same time, you know, you marry somebody and you sexually assaulted them, or you didn't understand, or like the consent lines were blurred, doesn't make the man an evil piece of shit. I agree. We need to be more communicative, and we need to address these problems as a society, not cancel an individual man over this shit. My opinion.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think
it's going to be on my channel. It's going to be on your channel.
Hold up. Repeat that. I stopped it. Then you started talking more.
Oh, sorry. All right. Well, thank you. I'm going to link your channel, and then you're going to have it on mine. So I hope you link to me.
Yep.
I'm very glad that we had this conversation. I think a lot happened. I'm glad. I think the conversation wound up being really good. I think we covered a lot. I'm pretty proud of the way I handled it, because I was worried going into this that people were going to give me a lot of hate for this, which I'm prepared for.
Oh no, there's gonna be an absurd amount of people that are just like,
oh, I'm aware.
Yeah, it's fine.
But I think I presented myself the best that I could, and I'm proud of that. So,
and I think
I'll deal with it. You know, the hate will come. It'll be fine. So, all right. Well, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time. Subscribe if you like the channel, and bye.
All right, have a good one, everyone.